Ciao everyone! So today on this video I'm going to show you how to make lovely, simple bread bun. Because you know what? Spring is in the air, all we want to do is grab our basket and go for a little trip to the park and have a lovely picnic. So I'm going to show you this super amazing, versatile recipe that you can use to make little burger bun, so you can just fill it up with whatever you want and have it salty, or you can add some raisins and chocolate and you can make it basically sweet. The same recipe, just a slightly little adjustment. So I'm going to show you what I did last night, because what you want to do with every single recipe that regard proving and it contains wheat, you kind of want to let it like prove for as long as you can, because the more it prove, the lighter it will be on your belly. So you're not gonna feel like, oh wait, I need to take a nap after you eat it, because you feel like so full and so heavy. You're still gonna feel fine. It's not gonna bother your belly as much as usually gluten, wheat and yeast does. So the secret is to let it prove overnight in the fridge. I'm going to show you how I made the dough last night, and then we'll carry on with the filling. Now it's time to do some kneading. So the best way to knead the dough is make sure that one hand holds it and the other one kind of push it towards the outside, and keep doing this movement for the next 5 minutes. I know it sounds long, but the more you work your dough by hand, the better it will become. You want to work it until it's completely smooth and it doesn't feel sticky anymore. As you can see now, my hands are quite clean because the dough is not sticky anymore. So all you want to do now is dust your working surface with a little bit of flour, and also the bowl where your dough is gonna go and prove. And work it for another couple of minutes, making sure it's nice and smooth and ready to prove. Here we go, guys. So here I got my dough that I took out of the fridge early this morning, and it had probably like another 4 hours outside of the fridge, proving, getting back to room temperature. And you can see like that is nice and big. It grew. You can easily see that it grew. So now what I'm gonna do is roll it off with a little bit of flour. It shouldn't be sticky, because already yesterday when I was working it wasn't sticky anymore. Here we go. So I'm just gonna give a little roll. Kind of wanna like get rid of all the bubbles. Get back to normal size. Here we go. Still beautiful. It smells lovely. Another thing that you could do if you're making this just as sweet bread, so you're not using it like for burger buns, what you could do is, instead of water, you could use some fresh orange juice. So grate the zest, get the zest out, put that on the mix as well, and then instead of adding water that you will see on the recipe, add the orange juice, and if you need a little extra, just put a little bit of water. Just make sure that that measure basically get replaced with the orange juice, and that will help to have even more flavor, it will make it even sweeter. But in this case, again, we want to be versatile, we want to be able to use it for 2 different recipes. So what I'm gonna do now is see how much is it, roughly. Okay, so this is 600 grams, so I'm going to make 10 different buns. So let's see, so if I divide it by 10, it should be 60 grams each. So yes, I think I'm gonna make tiny little bread. 80, let's see, you want to make sure that they're all the same size, because once they cook in the oven, they're gonna cook all in the same tray. You want to make sure that they cook basically with the same time period. So you want to make sure that they're pretty much the same size. It could be like 60, 64, a little bit more. It depends up to you how bigger you want them to be. I want mine to be tiny little bun, so I'm making it down 60 grams. Of course, if you're making them bigger, just make sure that they cook a little bit longer. So now I'm just gonna carry on doing all this. Okie dokie, now that they're all the same, roughly the same measure, I'm gonna basically, here we go, I'm gonna basically roll them into a nice lovely ball. So to do that, I'm gonna use basically this, the bottom of my hand, to kind of like pinch the dough a little bit, so it kind of get like pinch inside and it becomes like smoother. Smoother, is that the word? Hopefully it's the right word, on the top. So this basically helps the bowl to keep round, and this one it pinches so it becomes smoother. So that's what I do. Here we go. So I'm gonna make some just like that, probably like 3 of them. I'm going to make them nice and round, because these are gonna be the little bun for my bread. Here we go. So these are nice. And then on this I'm gonna do 3 with my raisins and 3 with chocolate. So what I've done here, I got a tray and I put a tiny little bit of coconut oil, and I'm going basically to grease the tray to make sure that they don't stick on it, because I'm not using any baking paper. Of course, yes, you could use baking paper as well if you want. So this is done. So I'm gonna put here my 3. Again, make sure they got a little bit of space, because they will prove a little bit more, so you don't want them to like stick together. So here I got 3 that I'm gonna do with the raisins and 3 that I'm gonna do with the chocolate. So I'm not gonna weigh the raisins. I'm literally just gonna go roughly with a little like tablespoon of raisin each, probably a little bit more here. Again, you can put as much as you want, and adding the raisins or the chocolate won't change your cooking time, so they can still cook with basically your other normal buns. So what I do, I simply just gonna roll them. Here we go, and you can see already like how cute they look. They look super cute. So I'm gonna put my raisins and then do the same thing with the chocolate one basically. Here we go. Now they're nice and ready. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cover them with a kitchen towel and let it proof for another hour. And then I'll show you what to do just before you put it inside of the oven. Welcome back everyone. So you can see that they proved a little bit. It's been an hour. If you want, you can let them prove a little bit longer. I would say up to 2 hours, no more. And then now they're basically ready to be baked. They will still grow a little bit once you put it in the oven, so this is not like the final size. So now you could either put it into the oven like that, or you can give a gentle brush. Usually you will brush them with some egg, and a little bit of milk, but of course this in this case is vegan, so what I'm using is very little bit, like literally a teaspoon of coconut blossom nectar, which is my favorite type of sugar, and a tiny little bit of oats milk. So what I'm doing, I'm just mixing the two together with my brush. Make sure like it dissolves a little bit, so your milk becomes slightly colorful in case you're using coconut blossom nectar, but any like sugar, liquid sugar will work, like agave or maple, anything. So what you want to do is just give a lovely brush, so then they will get a nice glaze basically once they're in the oven. And I think it's nice even if the burger bun are glazed, because it adds that extra like shiny on top of your bun basically. So it's not gonna make it like extra sweet basically. So these are ready. Now they're gonna go in the oven roughly for 15 minutes. I will put the right time on the description. It depends of course from your size and how strong your oven is. Here we go guys, these are ready and delicious. Of course, if you're chocolate one, instead of using big chunk of chocolate, you want to use tiny little chocolate chips. They will look even better, but literally here there is a bit of an explosion going on. And they're ready though. Make sure you wait until they're completely cool before you slice them or eat them. And hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below and I will get back to you. Bye!